Thanks for joining us at the Allett Lawn. You've joined us on a beautiful June morning and the stripes are popping today. If you've got bumps and hollows in your lawn, it really makes the mowing and the growing of grass so that you're getting it all the same really quite difficult. The water sits in the hollows, it dries out on the tops, and the next level of getting a great lawn is to level it all out, make it flat. And Allett have got a solution for that, as you'd expect, and this is the Allett Lawn Lute, which I want to talk to you about today. Some people call this a levelling rake, but we like the proper word for it, which we've called in the UK probably for centuries, which is a levelling lute. And what I want to do is just to quickly talk you through this product so that you can make your choice of buying this one or maybe a cheaper one. But this is where the value is for you. So we do this lawn lute in two sizes. This is the 1 metre, 1000 millimetres or 39 inches wide. That's from the bottom to the top here. And we also do a 750 millimetre or 29 inch wide lute as well. The lute is made 100% from stainless steel, high grade stainless steel, lots of chromium in it, and of course what that does, it means that it just doesn't rust. And when you're using high nitrogen fertilizers, and it's generally working in the wet and our storage conditions aren't so good for this type of lawn equipment, then the stainless steel really adds some benefit. So this is going to last you a lifetime before this even thinks about corroding. Really the only thing you need to think about is who you're going to leave this to in your will. This also has a handle, of course, and the handle comes in 5 pieces and is 2 meters long. And this simply screws together, so it makes it really nice for either more compact storage in your shed, or if you're going to go and transport it to do a friend a favour, then it's really easy to get into your car. And this 2 meter handle works like so. I just screw it into here. All the screw interlocks don't actually screw into the plastic, they screw into the stainless steel itself, so it's all really nice and secure. And I've got a slightly bigger diameter than I would normally expect to get on a rake, which really helps with the handhold, because this is quite hard work when you start levelling your lawn, especially when you've got a larger lawn. So the lawn lute is levelling material that we're depositing onto the lawn in order to leave the material at the bottom in the hollows, but not to leave material on the top on the humps. Should I choose a 750 millimetre 29 inch or a 1 metre 39 inch? Well, there's several different reasons why you would choose that. So the 1 metre wide actually levels better because it sits on the highs and deposits material in the lows over a wider area. So that definitely helps that. So if you've got a lawn that's only slightly bumpy, then I would definitely be going for the 1 metre because I haven't got to move quite so much material, and to get the best levelling effect, then the 1 metre wide is better. Of course, the 1 metre takes a little bit more effort to push, so the 750 millimetre is better if maybe you don't have as many muscles as you used to. And of course the bigger one means that I can cover bigger areas faster. So if you have a small lawn, 750 millimetre wide is absolutely sufficient. So let's just have a look. I've got some material here. So generally this is a bag of material that I would use for levelling, and this is a mixture of sand and topsoil. So it's all absolutely screened, guaranteed not to have any stones in it whatsoever. We don't want the stones, especially if we're cylinder mower users. So this material here, 10% soil and 90% sand. So the sand's really good for moving around. Of course, when you leave that in the hollows, it doesn't break down, so it permanently fills the hollows. It's really good from that perspective. But of course, sand doesn't hold any nutrients, so it's good just to have that bit of topsoil in it as well, which doesn't damage the body of the material that we're using, but at the same time really helps with levelling. And then the whole idea is now I want to move that around as much as I possibly can, and I really want to have the grass popping through it. So I don't really want to lay down a layer of more than 10 millimeters or 3/8 of an inch, something like that at a time, because I want the grass to come through. It's easier to push the rake around, the lawn lute around, if the grass is shorter, so it's often a really good idea to get the lawn mown down with a cylinder mower as low as you can, and that way I can really find where the humps and hollows are, and it's much easier to deposit the material around. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use the lawn lute to actually pull the material around, and then what I'm going to do is spread that around. Now this material here is not absolutely perfect because it's a little bit wet, and I'd much rather have it dry material so that the sand in itself just flows around and gets down into the bottom of the grass plants. But you'll see that by just moving that 25 kilos, 56 odd pounds of sand, that I can very quickly start to move this around and get it so that it sits in the hollows, but it doesn't stay on the top. Now, why should I fork out all the money for a lawn lute, which is quite a specialist tool, and it's great for preparing seed beds as well and levelling those out, rather than what I've got here, which is even a really good one, is half the price of a lawn lute. I could use a really nice wide rake. Now, there are several reasons why a rake is a nice thing to have, a landscaper's rake like this, nice and wide. But as you can see when I'm using this, what this does is actually fluff the material up. It doesn't move the material around quite as well. I can use the back, but it tends to then scrape it around, but it does leave the material loose. So actually what the lawn lute does is remove the material that is on the top of the hump and is much more likely to deposit it then into the hollow. So you can do a job with a landscaper's rake like this, but if you want a specialist tool to do the job properly and quickly, then the lawn lute is designed to do that specifically. So thanks very much for visiting us today, and I hope that you can see here that the Allett Lawn Lute is the best lute for your money.